Okay, continuing on with Lab 5, this is Activity 10, I think, and it's our introduction to parallel circuits. Currently, I've got a series circuit going on the outside here, lamp 1, 2, and 3, and they're all the same brightness because they have the same charge pressures flowing through them, same bulb resistances, and there's no other pathway for the charge to go except for on a single pathway. With the parallel circuit, though, we're going to give the charge a choice. Um, at this point here, for instance, we have a green wire and a white wire that are both coming off of this lamp. And if the charge decides to follow the white wire, it'll go to lamp number 2. If the charge decides to follow the green wire, it'll go to lamp number 4. And so what we're looking for is what are the results of that choice. To start with, I'm going to go ahead and put the voltmeter across this just so that we have some numbers. And this one's reading right at about 2 volts. So there's a 2 volt pressure differential across this bulb. And now we'll hook up this, and something interesting does happen. Bulb number 2 appears to go out, but if you look very closely, it's ever so slightly still lit, and it's the same brightness as bulb number 4. So bulb 2 and 4 have the same brightness. And also bulb 1 and 3 went from being dimmer to being much brighter. So let's look at the voltages again. So we still have some numbers. I remember this was 2 volts before, and now we're all the way up to about 2.6 volts on that bulb. Over on bulb number 3, we're at about 2.5 volts. And just to make sure that we do have voltage here, this dimmer one's 0.4 volts, and this one right here is 0.3 volts. So we have 2 dimmer bulbs with small pressures. We have 2 brighter bulbs with larger pressures. What's the explanation? I mean, why do these bulbs in the middle not seem to get as much as the bulbs on the outside? Well, one explanation or analogy that makes sense to me is if this is considered a river, then all of the water is going into bulb number 1, so we expect this bulb to have a large charge flow. But after the bulb, it's split into 2 tributaries. And of course, all the charge will have to give up some to each tributary. So these 2 bulbs, which are within those tributaries, are not going to experience as much charge flow. However, when we get back over to bulb number 3 over here, the 2 tributaries combine together just before the bulb, and so this bulb experiences the full charge again, just as this one did over here. So we expect these 2 with full charge to have the biggest brightness, these with the partial charge to have less brightness.